So, how does this single person become a global institution? That's what we're breaking down today. We're looking at the Lionel Messi phenomenon, and it's a story that goes way beyond the soccer pitch, all the way to how modern stardom is built. Let's dive in. At the very heart of the Messi story, there's this paradox that just doesn't seem to make sense. How on earth did a kid who was literally told he was too small to play become the single biggest name in all of sports? It's the question that really defines his entire career. I mean, just look at this. On one side, you have the cold, hard facts. A young boy facing a diagnosis that should have ended his career before it started. And on the other, you have this legacy that's almost impossible to believe. This isn't just about overcoming the odds, it's about how a so-called weakness was transformed into an absolutely unmatched superpower. To really get it, you have to go right back to the beginning. So our first stop is the unlikely prodigy, where we'll see how Messi's greatness was basically forged in this perfect storm of a biological crisis and, believe it or not, economic challenges. This timeline really lays out the critical moments. The talent, oh, it was undeniable. But then comes a medical diagnosis and a national economic meltdown. Suddenly, his entire future is on the line. And it's that exact combination of crises that forces a move to FC Barcelona. A move that would change the history of the sport forever. And let's be really clear about this. Growth hormone deficiency is a serious, serious condition. For an athlete, it's usually a career ender. But in this incredible twist of fate, this very thing that should have stopped him, well, it became the catalyst for his unique genius. And right there, that's the paradox. His smaller size gave him this ridiculously low center of gravity. And that wasn't a weakness at all. It was his secret weapon. It allowed for a kind of agility and ball control that taller, stronger players just couldn't dream of matching. Okay, so let's jump forward to see how this all comes together during the Barcelona supremacy. This is where that raw, unique talent smashes head-on into tactical innovation and boom, a legend is created. Just take a second and look at that number, 672. That's not just a club record. It is the most goals any player has ever scored for one single club in the entire history of football. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around that. So you have to be asking, what was the secret sauce here? Well, a huge part of it was this tactical revolution called the false nine. The role, which was cooked up by his manager, Pep Guardiola, was an absolute masterstroke. It was all about unleashing Messi's full potential by basically redesigning the team's attack around him. It's a truly brilliant system. Messi drifts away from the goal, back towards the midfield. And this gives the defenders an impossible choice. Either you follow him and leave a massive hole in your defense, or you let him have the ball with tons of space to turn and run at you. Either way, he created absolute chaos that his teammates could just feast on. It was pure tactical genius. And the result of all this? An absolutely mind-blowing 91 official goals in one single calendar year. It's a world record that honestly sounds fake. It's a testament to him being at the absolute peak of his powers. But Messi's story doesn't just end there on the pitch. Not even close. Let's move on to the next chapter, Architect of an Empire. This is where we see his incredible pivot from superstar player to a full-blown global business institution. His move to Inter Miami was a total game changer. This wasn't just a contract to play soccer, it was a partnership. It gives him a real stake in the success of the league itself, with revenue-sharing deals with giants like Apple and Adidas. He's not just playing the game anymore, he's literally changing how the game is played off the field. And his business portfolio is just as creative as his play on the field. I mean, we're talking hotels, venture capital, a media production company, retail, even beverages. He's strategically building an empire that's going to last long, long after he finally hangs up his boots. But before that empire could be fully built, there was one final conquest needed on the field. And that brings us to conquering the world, finally getting that one prize that had always escaped him and cementing his status as a true global icon. His time with the Argentina national team was just pure drama. From the crushing heartbreak of losing 3 major finals in a row and even briefly emotionally retiring, to finally getting that first taste of victory at the Copa America. And then the ultimate triumph, leading Argentina to win the 2022 World Cup. It was the last, most important piece of the puzzle. At this point, his fame reached a level that's almost unmanageable. Just get this, during a tour of India, a planned 1-hour event had to be cut down to just 20 minutes because the crowds were so massive, they overwhelmed security.
That's the level of global impact we are talking about.
And this wasn't just some sports tour. It was basically a diplomatic mission. I mean, when you're meeting with prime ministers and launching nationwide youth programs, you've gone way beyond sports. You're in the realm of soft power and global influence.
So, all of this brings us to our final section, the Messi era. And here, we're going to look at how he is just completely rewriting the rules on athletic longevity and what a legacy can even be.
In late 2025, Messi hit a milestone that might never, ever be broken. 1,300 combined goals and assists. He's the only player in the history of the game to hit that number. It just speaks to his insane, unique ability to both score and create at the highest possible level. And it's not just the huge number of contributions, it's his wild efficiency. An average of 1.15 goal contributions per game. That means over his entire career, he has basically guaranteed his team more than a goal every single time he stepped on the field. That's just nuts. And what's really amazing is that even in the later stages of his career, he's still dominating. This 2025 data shows how he evolved into the ultimate playmaker. He's leading in things like key passes and dribbles while still blowing away his rivals in actual goal contributions. And yeah, a new generation of stars is definitely coming up. But Messi's reign, it is far from over. In the same year a new player won the Ballon d'Or, Messi was still being voted the best player in his league and the best player in the world. He just keeps setting the standard. Which leaves us with one final, and I think really fascinating question. When we look back on all this, what will we say is his greatest legacy? Is it the impossible goals and the records he completely shattered on the field? Or is it the whole new blueprint he designed for the modern athlete? The athlete as a partner, an owner, and a true global institution.